is as important as breathing, because the word, man cannot live by bread alone, but by every word comes from the mouth of God. That's why I always insist the importance of reading the scripture, because once you read the scripture, you will be knowledgeable, and when you're knowledgeable, you will be able to understand things, the core nature of things. You will understand why things are the way they are. You will understand why the even if you don't understand why, you will understand the how things are the way they are. So this man, I was telling you a story of a man who was from Ghana, and he went to Scotland and he formed a kingdom called the Kubala Kingdom. And this is a very, very interesting story. I was reading about it, about this young man. And he was able to convince two women. He was living one man and two women. And the government of Scotland moved very quickly, and they put him, they told him to stop living in the forest. They gave him an eviction order. There was an injunction against him, and he was claiming that he is staying in the forest, his wife, and his reason, his grounds were that the land belonged to his ancestors. And how can an African claim that he was the ancestors were living in Scotland? So it was because when you form a kingdom in the United Kingdom, what you're doing is simply treason, and it is not only treason, it is seditious in nature, and also you are challenging the legitimacy of King Charles. So the Council of Scotland, they went to court, and they told him to get out of that forest. And I want to explain to people, because I know that's a very interesting story, and for those who have not been following that story, I will explain to you why they had to be removed from that place, why they had to be evicted from that piece of property. Yes, I know some people are wondering, surely there was no one living there, so why should they be evicted from that forest? And he was just a simple man claiming that he was the Messiah. So what was the problem? Ladies and gentlemen, if you are aware that there is no piece of land that lies idle, the ownership, maybe it is the council. And when you talk about the council, any public property, there's private property and there's public property, and there's something called riparian land. Also rivers and forests are part of also public property. So this man who formed a kingdom called Kubala Kingdom with his wife, his wife was known as Queen Nandi. They were, they settled in that place illegally. And not only that, they started, subscribing to doctrines that, yes, they have from the scripture. Doctrines were only copy-pasted or edited to suit the needs of this young man called Kofi. It was called Kofi Efe. And also one of the reasons why they had to be taken out of the forest is because if they were to be allowed to stay there, then in of time they would attract a lot of Africans to go and live in that forest. So you can imagine, a forest full of Africans. And then they would start subscribing to a religion that is against the mainstream, the mainstream religions. So you can see that anything that is formed against, the monarch, it is illegal in its nature, and it is null and void. Are we together? So let us continue. The sons of Perez were Hezron and Hamul. The sons of Zerah were Zimri, Ethan, Heman, and Calcol, and Dada, 5 in all. The sons of Carmi or Achar, who brought trouble on Israel by violating the ban of taking devoted things. The sons of Ethan were Azariah. The sons born to Hezron were Jamil, Ram, and Caleb. Ram was the father of Abinadab, and Abinadab was the father of Nahshon, the leader of the people of Judah. Nahshon was the leader of Salmon. Salmon, the father of Boaz. Boaz, the father of Obed, and Obed, the father of Jesse. And Jesse was the father of Eliab. The second son, Abinadab. The third son, Shimea. The fourth son, Nathanael. The fifth son, Rabbi. The sixth, Ozem. And the seventh, David. Their sisters were Zeruiah and Abigail. Zeruiah's 3 sons were Abishai, Joab, and Asahel. Abigail was the mother of Amasa, whose father was Jether, the Ishmaelite. So we are reading, the First Chronicles, because the people who are not mentioned either in First Samuel or Second Samuel, or First Kings or Second Kings, these people have been mentioned here in First Chronicles. So Caleb, the son of Hezron, had children by his wife Azubah. These were her sons, Jisha, Shobab, and Adon. When Azubah died, Caleb married Ephrath, who bore him a man called Hur. Hur was the father of Uri, and Uri was the father of Bezalel. Later, Hezron, when he was 60 years old, married the daughter of Machir, the father of Gilead. He made love to her, and she bore him Segub. Segub was the father of Jair, who controlled 23 towns in Gilead. But Geshur and Aram captured Jair, as well as Kenath, with its surrounding settlements, 60 towns. All these were the descendants of Machir, the father of Gilead. If you're new to this channel, subscribe and comment. I'll be more than happy to host you. After Hezron died in Caleb, Ephrath, Abijah, the wife of Hezron, bore him Ashhur, the father of Tekoa. So, ladies and gentlemen, we are reading Chronicles, the First Chronicles, and I hope that in the process of learning, we will see. You see, it's giving us the family tree of all the families. The sons of Jamel, the firstborn of Hezron, Ram his firstborn, Buna, Oren, Ozem, and Ahijah. Jamil had another wife whose name was Atara, and she was the mother of Onam. The sons of Ram were the firstborn of Jamel, Maz, Jamin, and Ikar. The sons of Onam were Shamal and Jada. The sons of Shamal were Adab and Abishur. Abishur's wife was called Abihail, who bore him Aban and Modid. The sons of Nadab were Seled and Apaim. Seled died without children. The sons of Apaim were Ishi, who was the father of Shishan. Shishan was the father of Alai. The sons of Judah were Shammai's brother Jether and Jonathan. Jether died without children. The sons of Jonathan were Peleth and Zaza. These were the descendants of Jerahmeel. Shishan had no sons, only daughters. He had an Egyptian servant named Jaha. Shishan gave his daughter in marriage to his servant Jaha, and she bore him Attai. Welcome to this channel, and I know that you will be with me throughout the reading, and I know that in this process we're going to learn. If you're new to this channel, subscribe and comment. I know that I had said at the end of this month, but we have to continue reading. It's not the end, and I'm sure that we'll be able to finish reading the scripture before the end of this month. I want us to go in very good speed. I don't want us to delay. If you're new to this channel, subscribe and comment, and I will be very happy if you're part of this channel. I've said that I want us to focus on reading the scripture, because if we read the scripture and not mixing with other things, politics, we'll be able to go faster. But if we start mixing ourselves with our own preferences, politics, kindly, this is not the place, nor this is the time for politics. I know you people love politics. Kenyans are in love of politics. Everywhere you go, it's politics and politics and politics. Mostly, they talk about 2027. And, it's very interesting because there's no time for other things. We are full of, a political strategy, but when it comes to the other thing, we are not showing any interest.